Hi guys, so in this video we're going to do a new topic, okay, but it's based upon a topic that you already know. Now you know, if I gave you a circle like that, firstly, you know that line there is called the radius. If I put that as 4 centimeters and I said find me the area of that circle, you should know the area of a circle is pi times radius squared. Now if the 4 is the radius, the diameter is 8 by the way, this again you should know, but if 4 is radius you do pi times 4 squared. If it was non-calculator, this would be your answer, 16 pi. If you had a calculator, your answer would be 16 pi is 50.26. So let's say 50.3 centimeters squared. Okay, now that is if it's a full circle. Now if it's a half circle, a semicircle, you should know that you do the exact same thing. You say 4 centimeters here. You imagine to yourself, you say, if that was a full circle, what would it look like? It would look like that. Therefore, what does the 4 represent in this? It represents the radius. So you go r equals 4, diameter equals 8, just to write it down. You then say, well, if I wanted to get the area of the whole thing, I do pi times radius squared, which is pi times 4 squared, pi times 16 pi, which is 50.3. But the difference between that one and that one is that the original question was actually for a semicircle, half of that. So therefore, whatever your answer was here, you would divide it by 2. So 50.3 divided by 2 is 25.1. So it'd be 25.1 centimeters squared. Now, what we're doing today in this little session here is a little bit different. We're using this process though. It's very important we recognise that. So let me rub this out here and see how we're doing with the next part. They may well give you something a little bit like that. They might say 5 centimeters here, and they might give you an angle here like, I don't know, 40. Okay? They'll say find me the area of this sector. Now a sector is like a pizza slice that you take out of a pizza. So when you chop up a pizza, you've got pizza here, you normally cut it there, and the slice you pick up, it's a sector of that pizza. It's a slice of that pizza. So what we want to do here is say to ourselves, well, if this is the sector, how do you work out the area of the sector? At first you need to imagine actually if it was a whole circle. So if I do something a bit like that, this is not the best drawing I've ever done in my life, like that, what we've got here is we've created a full circle. Now if I just said to you, what does that 5 represent in that full circle? You would say the radius, because it does, it goes from the middle to the end. So the radius would equal 5, the diameter would therefore be 10. So if I said work out the area of that whole circle, you do pi times radius squared, which is pi times 5 squared. But you must do something before in this case. So we look and we say, well 40 degrees is what this is here for our sector. But what we must recognise is that if it was a full circle, how many degrees would that be all the way around here? Be 360 degrees. So we want 40 of those 360 degrees. So we're going to write 40 out of 360 degrees. So what we're saying here is we're saying I don't want the whole circle, I want just 40 of the 360. So that is the fraction part of it, and then we're going to times it by However, we'd find the area of the whole circle. Pi times 5 squared. So what we're literally doing here is that this part here is the area of the whole circle, and this part here is the fraction that we want. Okay, so once we've got the fraction we want, times it by the area of the whole circle, that will give us just the area of this bit here. So I would type that in the calculator. I'll go 40 divided by 360. Then I would say times by pi times by 5 squared is 8.7 centimetre squared. Okay, so that is how to work out the area of a sector. You work out as if it was the area of the whole thing, but you put a fraction in front of it based upon the information I've given you. So I'm going to put one more example up there. If you want to pause the video and try it yourself, please do. Okay, and then I'm going to go through it once you've unpaused it. So I want you to have a go at this one, please. So that's the sector. The angle I'm putting in is 72 degrees and the radius is 6 centimetre. Okay, so 72 degrees there, 6 centimetre is the radius. Have a go, pause it. Okay, if you've now unpaused it, I'll quickly go through it. So the whole circle would be, radius is 6, diameter is 12, would be pi times 6 squared. So that's the whole circle. So let me write that down here so it's clear. But I don't want the whole circle, I want only a fraction of the circle, and that fraction is 72 out of 360. And therefore I'd multiply them all together. So it'd be 72 divided by 360 times by pi times by 6 squared is 22.6 centimetres squared. Now if you've got that one right, you're good to go with the work today. If not, have another go at it, look at my examples. If you're still stuck, please ask me. Okay? Best of luck.